Hello, my name is Stuart, Golden Middle Distance Racers, and today I've got a race from 1980. It's Sebastian Coe in the world class Zurich Games, running in the 1500 meters after the Moscow gold that he won. So let's go and look and see what happened. Let's go back in time and let's watch Coe.
Then Steve Scott in fifth, but it's Ray Flynn of Ireland that takes up the lead and strings this lot out.
So we've got Coe, Byes behind him, then Walker. I think Eamon Coughlin is next. Ray Flynn is taking up the pacemaking.
They've had a marvellous evening, athletics. And Ray Flynn from Ireland takes around this field, which includes 2 Olympic champions.
So they've gone through in what time? Let's see.
400 metres, 54:28. That's the same
54 point something. 54.3 is it? That's fairly quick. That means Coe's gone through in about 54.8, a bit fast to get an even world record pace. But he ran 3:32.03 off the 54-second first lap. So, you know, it's within his capabilities to do it, and obviously having won that Olympic gold in impressive form, you can fairly say that Coe here is in probably the form of his life, albeit a long and tiring season. So Byes was at the 1980 Olympics, but he didn't run in the 1500. I believe he ran in the 3000. Walker, Scott, Coughlin, the rest of them, they would want to make some impression in this race just to demonstrate. It wouldn't surprise me if they spent the entire summer training just for this particular race to show what they could do, and that, you know, if they had only been in Moscow, they actually could have won too. But I think everybody knew at this time that Coe and Ovett were so far out ahead of the rest of them that there was never going to be any chance of both gold medals not going to Coe and Ovett in those games. So Coe is, you can see he's slowed down there a bit because they're starting to bunch, and I suppose that cost him the world record in this race. Delise is in there as well, home favourite. He beat Coe a few years later when Coe was not feeling so well. So Coe's ahead. He's going through in 2:51.6, and he's really starting to move now, beautifully so. Walker's looking good there in second place.
And remember the winning time, 3:21, 3:32.1. But he's got
Steve Scott is there. Byes starting to fall back.
the New Zealander, the giant from New Zealand, finds a little bit more. Comes up
And let's see what Coe does off the bend here.
sexy Steve Scott, the fast finishing American, coming into the picture. And it's a really fast.
And look at the way he moves. Look at the acceleration. Finds another gear, and he's absolutely away.
Scott will be second. What's the clock? 3:31, 3:32.19. He is hundreds.
A very good time, outside the world record by 0.16. He does look tired there. He's got his hands on his hips. Yeah, he is tired. I think he's bending over there. He is tired. I think that, you know, because the race was uneven, that was a very difficult 3:32.2. Let's just watch it again. Here he comes around the top bend. He looks over his shoulder there. He doesn't look the other way, oddly enough. There's Cram. He's got a clear run ahead of him, and now he just goes. He just absolutely flies away. The way that it was one of the impressive things about Coe and Ovett, the way that they could just suddenly open up a gap on floundering athletes behind them. You know, they could just incredibly accelerate, and in 20 meters they could suddenly make 5 meters just like that. It was really quite a sight to behold. So my assessment of that is a very impressive run by Coe. He could have set the world record had he had more even pacemaking. I think he could have run, you know, around 3:31-ish, inside 3:31, which really is only just over a second faster than he did run. I think that between, shall we say, 1,000 meters and 1,200 meters, he just slowed a bit, because you could see that in the penultimate home straight, they were starting to bunch, and it looked to me like that uneven pace was taking a bit of a toll on him. And he may have been thinking, well, actually, I've got a race to win here. I don't want to shoot off and try and set a world record. Although, to be honest with you, had he gone at 500 meters out, I believe he would have run around 3:30. But he didn't quite have that confidence, maybe because of, you know, one or two things that had happened. He's remembering 1978 when Bayer came flying past him and Ovett, and he's remembering, you know, maybe some other races when he went a bit too early. I can't think of which ones, I must admit, but maybe it was in his mind that he's got a race to win primarily, and that if he goes all out for a world record, he might be in danger of dying in the home straight and having the rest come past him. I don't know what was going through his mind, but I think he had the ability at 500 meters out to stretch them out and to run about 3:30 or maybe 3:31. But it was still a very impressive run, and he was tired. Obviously, a very long season has taken its toll on him. Bear in mind that Ovett, you know, not long after this race in Koblenz, ran 3:31.36. He went through a relatively even pace. He went through the line smiling. He didn't bend over at all. He didn't even put his hands on his hips. He was waving to the crowd. He looked relaxed. And yet he's run nearly a second there faster than Coe. He looked a lot fresher in that Koblenz race than Coe did here. But it was still a very impressive win. And I think probably there are two factors why Coe was so tired. One is an exceptionally long, physically and emotionally draining season. And secondly, simply because, again, there was a bit of a mess up with the pace, and it wasn't even enough. He finished there like he would have run, if he'd run an even pace 3:28, 3:29, then he would have been putting his hands on his hips and he would have been bending over at the end. But he ran an uneven 3:32. Consequently, he was badly tired out. Now, after this race, Coe went down to Italy, and he was beaten by Don Page, the American runner who missed the 800 meters due to the boycott. Page apparently insisted on running. Peter Coe didn't want him in the race because he wanted a relatively easy last 800 meters for Coe just to round off the season, and he didn't really want to stress his son out too much. But that's not quite the way it worked out, because Page insisted on running. He wouldn't get off the track, and they had to let him run because he insisted on running. And apparently it was a fabulous race. I believe that Coe took the lead with 200 to go. Page came back at him. Coe couldn't shake him off. Page got level and nicked it by literally 1 or 2 hundredths of a second. And so obviously Coe was tired because, you know, a top form Coe. I mean, with respect to Don Page, if Coe had been in top form that night, I don't think Don Page could have touched him. But anyway, that's how it goes. So that's all for now. Let me know what you think of my comments and this race, of course. And I'll be back again very soon. Bye for now.